so we're going to continue to lift him up in prayer if you would do that. All right, so let me open up our time in prayer, and then we're going to talk a little bit with John about church, and then we got a seminar coming up on Saturday, which I'm looking forward to. And it starts right here at 8:30. There'll be some fresh fruit, some donuts, some coffee, and then lunch. You're going to get a nice little lunch. It's all paid for. You don't have, it doesn't cost you a thing. And we're looking forward to having you come here from 8:30 to 1:30. Okay? Let me pray. Father, thank you for blessing us today with your word. For a precious woman caught in adultery, scribes who violated the law of God, and then your forgiveness. What an incredible sight that must have been to see her now as part of the family of God. May we look at our world that way and see lost people. And may we be used by you to share Christ with others. So I wanted to ask you about this golfing ministry. Because, that sounds great to me that I should be out there on a golf course.
Every Friday, that's where you should be.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I was reading a statistic, and I know, John, you're much more up on these things. I was reading in the New Yorker magazine, which is not a bastion at all of conservative thought, but it was letting us know, they were commenting on what has taken place in the last 40 years in the church. So this is my 40th year in ministry. I've been here 30
Wow.
years, and then
Yeah.
10 years before that. And I have seen a shift, a radical shift.
Yes.
And what they have said is that in the last 40 years of ministry, over 40 million people have stopped
Yeah.
coming to church.
Yes.
And really in the last 30 years, it's been very dramatic.
Yeah.
And then also because of COVID,
Yeah.
post-COVID. And so, wow,
Yeah.
how do we, what do we do about this?
Yeah. So you probably have noticed things aren't the way they always were. Really, since 2000, 40 million people have left Christianity, and that's just through, you know how when you go to fill out a medical form or a government form, they have on there, what's your religious affiliation? 40 million people, more now, in addition to what it always was since year 2000, 40 million people have left Christianity. And so they put none, right? What's your spiritual affiliation? They put nuns. And so we call them the nuns. Not nuns, but none. Yeah, no affiliation. And what's even more discouraging than that is that the highest percentage of nuns is 18 to 35-year-olds. So if you look around this morning, right, there's not, even in churches across America, the missing generation is 18 to 35-year-olds. There is a great evacuation of young people from the church, because those are young families, right? 18 to 35 are going to start having children, perhaps a lot later in our culture today, but they would be having kids and young families and bringing them to church. They have just disappeared completely from Christianity across all denominations. The Baptist church, according to Tom Rainer's research, is really suffering significant losses. Yeah.
And the Southern Baptist Church is really
Hurting, yeah.
big time.
That's the bad news, Mike, but here's the good news. That almost half of those people who've been surveyed, who've left, 40 million, they didn't survey 40 million, but samples, almost half of them said they would come back to church if invited by a friend. That's good news. Almost half would return to church if invited by a friend. The challenge of the church, Mike, is many times we aren't making friends with people who've left the church.
Yeah.
We aren't making friends with people who don't know Jesus. So that's if invited by a friend. So we have to have friendship circles, right? That certainly include people who aren't in a relationship with Jesus at his church.
Yeah, yeah. I find myself in ministry, I have to go out of my way to find an unbeliever.
Yeah.
I know they're all around me.
Yeah.
But you get so steeped in Christianity and the people that you already know and the time you spend with them, which is good.
Yeah.
But you got to find an outlet of some kind to be able to share
Right.
the Lord with other people.
Yeah, so let me just give you an example of my outlet.
Yeah.
So all of my life, Southern California, grew up on the beach, 60 years. Then we had grandchildren. Our second grandchild was born about a year ago. And my wife says, well, I'm going to move to be near the grandkids. I hope you'll come with me. She was kidding, of course. But so now, 60 years, these friendship circles in El Segundo, kind of like you around Paso Robles. You really can't go anywhere without people who've met you or know you, right?
Sure. You're going to Walmart to get one thing.
Right.
It takes 60 minutes to get
It
out.
does,
Yeah.
which is ministry, brother. That's ministry. Walmart ministry. There you go. So we move up to Hillsboro, about 45 minutes, 30 minutes west of Portland. And what am I going to do now? I've lost all my friendship circles that I knew. So I took up pickleball. Pickleball, unbelievable. And I love it, and it is huge in our culture today. I have immediately met at least 100 people from pickleball in probably the last 10 months. Oh, wow. I'm friends with them, we're engaging. They're actually inviting me to go for coffee and dinner. So maybe it's not pickleball, but what is it? We used to ask at Hilltop, what is your personal mission site? Who are the people that God is bringing in your circle of influence, either at work, with a club,